occasionally with their positioning, right? So we're going to be taking a particular look at Panker, their main tank. We got to make sure that he's not only staying alive, but protecting his backline, especially here on control, where things can get pretty crazy pretty quickly. As we have taking speedily to the air with this pharmacy. Love the look from Second Wind. They're actually not running the Hammond. They're going to have Gods and Sherrick on the Diva Winston, respectively, whereas Legion are all inning on that disruption and mobility. Dalton is on that Tracer, and Sherrick, hey, we said he was on the Winston, but he's not going to be contributing much anymore.
Yeah, Water's going to start things off with a pick. Panker getting hacked is going to make things a little interesting for Gladiators Legion, but Second Wind are going to be coming from behind on this fight and eventually do lose out. Gladiators Legion are going to get an easy first take here on Lijiang Tower.
You know, good heads-up play from Second Wind right there. There's not a huge point in continuing to scrap things out. You could say, well, why don't we just draw ults out? No ults on the field as of yet, right? So you just, everybody die, die, die. Make sure that the whole team is on the same page, and that page is going to be Goats. In fact, Moira Goats with Bird, who has had great performances on the Zenyatta before, instead taking up the more, you know, stalwart, consistent healer in that Moira. So Legion, they're going to be well prepared for this, though. Water, he's salivating at the thought of barraging them all.
I mean, he's dehydrated right now.
Exactly.
He
needs some moisture.
His thirst with some rockets from above. He's getting, you know, actually, the defense matrix keeping him from getting to that ultimate, but he is going to get it right now. And the best news for Gladiators Legion is he's going to be able to use it on the next fight. And so Second Wind are going to have to be coming from behind again. Look at those ultimate charges. Because of that team switch, they're not going to be feeling pretty good for this next fight.
Oh no, you know, maybe the next fight, maybe the fight after that would be the Second Wind's best to look, as long as they don't invest anything in this next one, because Legion are still working through their ultimate bank. Oh no, speedily. Whew, manages to escape right there. And it's certainly worth pointing out, Luddy, he got that early boop kill, and he's been such a boon for the Gladiators Legion team, who have, you know, been playing fairly consistently, but not amazingly. As I say that, though.
EMP into barrage combo. It's something that we're seeing a lot more in these maps, and Water going to be taking advantage of the fact that there are no shields on the field. And so, Gladiators Legion in complete control so far. Second Wind not making so much as a peep on the point.
No, very quiet library inside voices right now for Second Wind. Legion, while they expended one ultimate in that fight, they still have more coming in, gonna have 4 for this very next fight. However, Bird, he actually, with this Coalescence, has the ability to zone this pharmacy away.
Oh, the proximity mines are going to be going down. We're going to go ahead and shift through those. Gladiators Legion still coming out on the top as Gods is going to get demeched because of the mines. Panker doing some really good work on that ball for Gladiators Legion. Second Wind finally going to get their ultimates out. This is the first kind of round that they've had so far, and they're still going to lose out on this fight as Sherrick is going to, you know, bring things back, get Water down. You don't really see Reinhardt's kill Pharahs that often, but Gladiators Legion still actually just losing members as Rolf going down, and now Panker, they were ahead at the beginning of this fight. Now Second Wind are going to be bringing it back. All they needed was Sherrick to pop off a little bit.
99% though, if you were going to give up control at some point, 99%, you're going to be pretty happy with that for Legion, because they have a great engagement tool in Water's Barrage. They just have to get him in position to use it. Second Wind were able to turn what looked like a horrible fight their way with just that persistency, and you can see the power of Goats. Once you get onto the objective, it's so hard to evict all of those beefy tanks. Now Water's going to be trying to do just that. Hem, along with Dalton and Fried, they got to all work together.
Waters does have that rocket barrage. Fried getting very close to that EMP. They're going to hold on to that barrage until the EMP comes. Dalton also has that pulse bomb, like you said, and that could pick anyone off on a Second Wind if it's placed correctly. The EMP has got to be raring to go at this point in time. There it is. Waters going to go ahead and use that rocket barrage. 2 members of Second Wind are EMP'd. They actually could have gotten a little bit more out of the barrage, but Dalton does make it up. They do lose that Pharah, though, as Sherrick going to get hacked, and he's not going to be long for this world. Actually, no, he was hovering around 10 to 40 HP for the majority of that fight, but Dalton says goodbye, see you later. As Gladiators Legion look like they're going to be pulling this back. Water on Genji. That is surprising, as this is the character that he is known for, but he most likely won't be seeing a ton of it.
Oh no, he's just tagging in to be that token Genji right here. Oh, Dalton actually goes down, so things aren't quite over yet. Sherrick tags in with the Hammond. However, it's going to be a wrecking ball bonanza right here. Both of them rolling around, the fight actually moving off of the objective. Water now, he's still spamming up towards his blade. I mean, if this fight keeps going on, he might actually get this ultimate and unleash the sword.
Unsheath the blade. Now he's got that sound barrier. It's going to help him get to that ultimate a lot faster. And with these Genjis, they can get it super fast, as Dalton getting very, very close to that pulse bomb once again, as Gladiators Legion unable to secure this objective through that last fight, but they are still maintaining their advantage. Water, we really just want to see a Dragon Blade, I think. tank. But no, Gladiators Legion are going to secure it 100-57. Second win did make it onto the board. Sherrick had a big part of that, but in the end, that was the only positive for the round for them.
I love the, tactical squat as well. You're just keeping warm between rounds, right?
How do you stretch otherwise?
Exactly.
Right?
It's about
like squatting's a stretch, right?
It's about player health, okay?
Yeah.
It's about staying warm. You don't want to get a cramp while you're, tracing around, I suppose. But Legion played that composition really well. We've seen them stand out with their GOATS play, and it's really refreshing to see them also be able to bring that level of execution to a highly mobile comp like that Hammond Farah dive. So as we move into Night Market, though, different map type favors a different composition. So we'll be back to the Reinhardt Zarya. You really want to try and get either an early pick, although that's a lot easier said than done unless your name's Jonak. So pressure on the shoulders of both Rolf and Bird to work up to that trans first. And whoa, Bird already shooting up towards 20% as the brawl begins.
Yeah, both teams actually taking quite a bit of damage in this first engage here. Is Water taken very, very low. The healing is there. Dalton going to get first blood. Sherrick very low as well. Does come down. Second win starting off this round just like the last one behind.
That's not the whole story just as of yet, though. The point now unlocking. And Legion, though, this is such a big advantage for them. They can choose where to engage. That's what you get as the defenders here. And they also get first cap. So they will have not only the ultimate economy advantage, but positional advantage as well. We've seen so many times that you just get grabbed in this hallway, and you have to either just eat that lost fight or invest a trance. And I don't think that will be a great option for Second Wind, especially since they don't have it yet.
Well, Second Wind hasn't really gotten anything going so far. Like, things just don't seem to be working team con-wide, and even the way that they're attacking these points, they're going to go all in together this time around, but their big thing is they've been picked off. Bird has the Transcendence and is taken pretty low right at the beginning of this fight, but the heals are there. Panker has the Earth Shatter. This could be a big one, and it looks like it will, as 3 are going to fall onto the ground. He hopped, and then he dropped.
I mean, they fell onto the ground so hard they went through the ground 6 feet under.
Into the spawn.
Into the spawn.
Yes.
That's actually, there's a wormhole, I'm guessing. Something's going on here in Overwatch in the future. But Legion looking extremely comfortable here. We've always said about this team that they tend to play to the level of their opponents, but they're trying to show that they are made of more. Dalton has the grab at the ready. Bird, though, can respond. The question is, if he uses that...
Graviton Surge is going to start this out. Transcendence is there. Earth Shatter. 2 self-destruct kills. Second Wind tried to counter that with the Shatter of their own, but Gladiators Legion did not care. They had some fried bomb up in the air, and it seems like Second Wind was hankering for some fried bomb.
Fried bomb is always a winner with the crowds, as they say. However, Second Wind still have one more shot to re-engage here. Speedily has the rally that's going to buy them a little bit of cushion, along with Hello, I'm Halo's sound barrier. And Legion, they don't have any tank ultimates to speak of right now, so this is actually Second Wind's best shot. Ice will have that grab soon.
Second Wind's best shot, and potentially last one is Speedily going to be using the rally to escort them onto the objective, and now the Transcendence is going to counter that Graviton Surge. Earth Shatter going to knock 2 of Second Wind on the ground. Ice taken low. It's actually been traded so far. No Zarya, no Lucio. That Zarya kill is a little bit better statistically, but Second Wind is not really listening to statistics during this fight. They need to win it as Gladiators Legion behind. This is deja vu from that last round. Again, this is exactly how that round started as well.
If history will play out in the same way, Second Wind looking for a very scrappy fight, but they're also looking down the barrel of an angry Dalton Zarya, who has the Graviton Surge at the ready, along with Fried's Bomb. So the combo is always going to be an option here for Gladiators Legion. Second Wind, they will have to play quite defensively. The only thing they have is Bird's Trance.
And Dalton only has less than 50 energy. Dalton already used the particle barrier on the Reinhardt, so they're going to have to wait a little bit longer. Now Gladiators Legion does have the Graviton Surge and that self-destruct. That combo is available for them. They're going to go ahead and throw it out. Transcendence is there for Second Wind. Will Fried get kills? Yes, they do get 1, but there's going to be trades on either side. The last time we saw this, Gladiators Legion ended up losing the fight, but Water is going to have Rally. The stun does not matter for her as Rally was already going. Is Panker going to use the Earth Shatter? Hello, Halo is on the ground. That means he's going to be very vulnerable as you do see him go down in the end. Gladiators Legion in control. They're going to be winning out Lijiang Tower 2-0 and start this off 1-0.
Second Wind, they just never were able to hold on to that ultimate advantage long enough for more than one fight. We talk a lot about, how do you win in this GOATS meta? A large part of it, of course, will be that individual pop-off. You get some crazy bomb kill. Everybody's clipping it, posting it on Reddit, but a bigger thing is going to be consistency. Right now, Gladiators Legion just need to finish off their plate. Nice dodge, Icy. And
deja vu once again, though, right?
Yeah,
they
long staggered fight.
Yeah, long staggered fight. Gladiators Legion unable to get all of the deaths at once. The rest of Second Wind walk in one by one, and they make it a lot harder for themselves, and they need to. That's something that can definitely be cleaned up in the future.
And undoubtedly needs to be as they continue to progress through their schedule and start facing more and more of those experienced academy teams, because we do also need to remember that Legion's 2 wins are against unsigned Trials teams right now.
Yeah, and so this is I would say this is probably their best test so far, as last week was Chicken Contenders without Hard Blue. In my opinion, that's just kind of a mulligan. You don't really learn anything from either team in that game.
Well, you get to play Torb. So.
Yeah, exactly. But this time around, though, I'm actually a little surprised that Second Wind lost a little bit of wind in their sails. Actually, just no wind in their sails. There's not even a breeze right now, as when they did take over the point, Gladiators Legion felt and were still in control.
It was like they weren't panicking, right? They knew that maybe this would be a lost fight, but their next engagement would be that much better as long as they don't drop any ultimates or invest too heavily in the current scrap. So again, that veteran, kind of experience coming through for Legion, playing quite well right now.
Yeah, and Made's a great coach, and I know he's probably telling his boys right now, the time to kill, the focus fire was a little rough there at the end, and you got to give Second Wind a little bit of props to keeping that stall alive. Every so often, once in a millennia, that stall works, and the team ends up getting a couple picks, and everyone's able to battle on the point again. But that's not the timeline we're living in right now. Second Wind goes down on our first map, Lijiang Tower, 0-1 against Gladiators Legion. If you're just tuning in, that's our score. But we're going to be going to King's Row next. And this is everyone's favorite map statistically. It's been around since the beginning. HamTornado, how do you think Second Wind is going to be going this time around? Because, the first point is very similar to Control sometimes.
Yeah, so Hybrid is a little bit of, column A, a little bit of column B. There's not a huge...
It's called Hybrid. That is correct. Just like earlier, today is Monday, right? This is a good game.
Yeah. I mean, I think it will be quite competitive. We actually saw this is where Uprising Academy, we're able to take the win against Fusion University. Some would consider that an upset, right? So Second Wind certainly have a chance here on King's Row. And like you said, this map has been in the rotation for so long that teams are going to be extremely familiar. There will be, multiple avenues of attack. Hey, if Goats doesn't work, I'm just throwing it out there. Pharah's still a hero. We used to see Pharah's all the time on Streets Face.
I guess we're continuing that fact trade, right? Also heroes. Orisa's a hero.
Orisa, great hero.
Bastion's a hero.
The two of them actually go very well together.
Hey, solo queue games, that's some good advice if I've ever heard one. But we're going to get started here on King's Row in just a second. Now that they're going to be attacking this first point, Second Wind really needs a couple of their players to start showing up, especially Gods on that Diva.
Yeah, Gods, he was that bright spot for Second Wind when they took their win last week. So we need to see more production from that Diva if we are to see Second Wind triumph once again against Legion, who are playing such a strong game. And again, Legion don't need to really change anything that they're doing, is the hardest part right here. Because, as we know, all of these players, so experienced. And not only that, but they're so mechanically skilled as well. Panker gets that first drop onto Sherrick. That means that Second Wind, no way for them to push, and God's death is going to be the nail in the coffin for this early engagement. Bird's just going to feed himself into the unrelenting hammer of a Reinhardt.
Yeah, and so when we jumped into that game, Gladiators Legion already had the first blood. They're going to get that first easy take. When we were talking about King's Row earlier, at this point, I love the spray. At this point, you have to finish King's Row, in my opinion, right?
Yes.
We're so familiar with it. Not finishing it is just going to put you at such a huge disadvantage. You're probably going to lose this round. And so Second Wind already giving up that point, over 5 minutes on the clock for Gladiators Legion to complete Streets.
Feels like an eternity, but we've seen crazier holds. This archway is very difficult for the cart to push through, one of the slowest opening cards in, Overwatch history. And Panker lays down the shatter, catches nearly 4 members, and that will be the one fight.
Yeah, 3 was enough. As Second Wind going down again, it's just no one doing anything really on Second Wind so far to stop Gladiators Legion. And, time to kill was an issue that last time, not this time. Everything else, while we harped on that a little bit, everything else has looked good for them.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Legion, once again, all of these working parts, right? You would say they should make a beautiful machine, a beautiful clock. It's just about timing, synergy, and that communication. As Dalton just looking for a good place to drop the grab. You know, you don't open up black holes in the fabric of space-time anywhere.
We call that all willy-nilly in the business. And so Gladiators Legion going to throw out that self-destruct, get 2 kills from Fried, and second win again, not going to stop Gladiators Legion, so the momentum is going to be continuing. I believe they do complete that in about 1 minute and 5 seconds, which is pretty good for Streets phase. But now they have 5.5 minutes to finish the 3rd point. They've got an eternity.
Yeah, it's much easier said than done, though. Legion have 3 ultimates. One of them is a shatter, but the other 2 are defensive ultimates. So you could always pop them and try and go in aggressively, but if you're counting ultimates, Gladiators Legion should know that second wind is well stocked. It's going to be worth their time to try and push in aggressively, force out a shatter, force out a grab. No, Panker just goes in. Yeah,
Panker's going to use the shatter, not get anybody with it. This is going to give second wind the opening that they need, but Sherrick not going to get anybody with his shatter. So even going on both sides, Transcendence is out. Bird going to get closer to his. Is Letty going to get the kill for Gladiators Legion? Bird really trying to get to that Transcendence because they're going to need it down a member, but now we have defensive spawns for second wind. Sherrick will be back in no time at all, and Bird will have Transcendence for the re-engage that Gladiators Legion are looking for, as they don't have any ultimates right now, but will for the next one.
Closest will be Dalton's grab right here. He could combo it with Fried's bomb. The execution on this combo has been so good for Legion so far, and Hello, I'm Halo still 80% away from that all-important barrier.
Here it is, the grab time surge is out. Panker, I believe, was CC just a little bit. The charge is there onto Sherrick, but no kills from the self-destruct. Sherrick is down, though, so Gladiators Legion have an opening to grab this 3rd point and potentially over 4 minutes left on the clock. Second wind is going to get her shattered as well. Ice is going to get pinned. God's on the ground. Second wind is needing a miracle. It is desperation right now. Sherrick is not going to last very long, especially with the Discord Orb on him. And Gladiators Legion are going to take all of King's Row in one push.
Oh, blazing a trail right there through the streets of London, right? Wow, I mean, I had no idea that they would finish with such a time. That is 4:05, folks. 5 seconds more than the starting time.
Yeah, you know, when you go to that screen and the time goes up, you're doing well for yourself, right? Especially here on King's Row. 4 minutes and 5 seconds. I wonder comparatively to other pushes where that would stand. That was super fast. Second wind, that's got to be hard to follow up, right? Like they just got literally steamrolled in that first round, and then now they're coming into their attack and second wind. They need to get something going. They're missing something.
I would say one of the biggest things is they're missing God's bombs. We haven't really seen any setup for these ultimates, even the Earth Shatter. No, I mean, we all, you know, snooze at bash shatter combos, but it's one of, you know, the bread and butter techniques to get through that Rhine shield and connect with your shatter, and we didn't even see that kind of play coming through from second wind. It felt like, you know, it was just the steamroll. Had no chance to really catch their breath and just take stock of where they were positioned in that moment. And because of it, you know, they were kind of just throwing ultimates into the wind when they even had a chance to press Q.
Yeah, and they just weren't able to press Q with each other, and when they did, Gladiators Legion would have an ultimate advantage. It's pretty crazy that they were able to maintain that throughout the entirety of the round, because the game is designed so that doesn't happen. But now second wind going to be on their attack. They're going to be leaving spawn with that tried and true GOATS comp, the greatest of all time, especially for this season. Gladiators Legion going to be running the same thing. So this is all about cooldown management and the mind games between these teams. The Sherrick going to be going through the backside. They're going to be pushing Gladiators Legion towards the offensive spawns, and they're going to finally get something going here with 4 very, very quick picks from second wind. They're going to be grabbing this first point in no time.
All right, gods. All right, okay, cool, chill.
It wasn't personal, dude.
No. What a push. As impressive as Legion's capture of Point A, right out in that first fight, second wind able to meet them, able to match them, which is going to be a very frightening thing moving into Streets phase, because Legion have no ultimates. There's no way for them to stop this except good old vanilla pick.
Yep, exactly. Vanilla's a great flavor. Sometimes we forget about that. As Second Wind going to have more time on the clock than Gladiators Legion, about 10 seconds for their push through Streets phase. So Gladiators Legion know what not to do, is not to repeat what Second Wind did to them on the last round. And I love them holding close. All teams are holding so close right now because it's one of the best times to defend. But look at this, the amp it up, the rally from Second Wind are going to be pushing Gladiators Legion all the way back to spawn. Really good teamwork from them, some that we haven't seen all game so far.
What a super great coordinated speed boost from Hello, I'm Halo. They recognize that Panker's maybe a little bit caught out. He's the one who had positioning issues throughout the earlier weeks of this season. So they recognize that target, boost in, and man, Sherritt caught through Legion like a hot knife through butter. They're going to have 4 ultimates as well to secure point B, and Gladiators Legion got to be a little bit afraid. Do you actually drop the trance in this fight right now, or do you save it for that 3rd point?
Oh, they're going to decide to drop it. It seemed like they thought about it for a second. There was a little bit of a delay there. Let's see if it's going to end up being the right decision. Panker not going to get anything with Shatter, but Second Wind Shatter is going to knock 4 onto the ground. Second Wind in charge right now for this fight with the Graviton Surf coming from Dalton, and now the bigger bang combo. This can really change everything. Iced is down. Second Wind is going to have to use that rally and transcendence of their own to try to get them the 2nd point. With 4 minutes and 15 seconds left, I'm not sure investing everything right now is the best choice for Second Wind, but Gladiators Legion doing exactly the same as the defense. Their hand is a little bit more forced in terms of trying to save this, but Second Wind gonna say, we want it right now. Hello, I'm Halo gonna use that sound barrier. Gods has the self-destruct, Bird getting stunned and then taken down to spawn. Panker gonna be taking a little bit more space from Second Wind as well, and both teams investing a ton. Earthshatter is out, gets 2 onto Second Wind, and now Gladiators Legion are gonna be catching up on that ultimate charge as well. Second Wind, that was an overinvestment if I've ever seen one.
Yikes, man. Second Wind. To be honest, though, you know, they both invested so heavily in that. Legion do finally, you know, grab the top of the stick and yank it away from Second Wind. But in the meantime, Second Wind have built themselves back up to 3 ultimates. Ice 70% to the grab, Bird 80% to the trance. It's almost as if, you know,
it's like the fight never happened.
Welcome to Goats. Like welcome to Goats, where everything's made up and the ults don't matter, folks. Gladiators Legion, they're going to drop their grab right away.
Here we go. Bigger Bang Comet going to get behind the shield. The pin is there. Fried's going to get 2 kills, 2.5 with the D-Mac. Gladiators Legion going to make sure Second Wind not going to get that 2nd point. Already taken about 2-3 minutes off of the clock, too.
Oh, and Second Wind cut down now to just the single self-destruct. Iced still close to the grab, but that was a heavy investment. You saw Second Wind tried to go in very aggressively. Legion have been caught off guard in the past by aggressive pushes. Gig comes to mind.
They figured that out.
A good try by Second Wind, but what that means now is 2 minutes and 30 seconds. They haven't yet secured point B. There's no way that they can really match Gladiators Legion's time bank. Now they're just going to be hoping for a good, clean fight win.
I think D.Va did boot Bird off of the high ground, so he's going to be isolated from the rest of the team. And look at this, he's not going to be able to get the vision. Rolf going to get the kill, so is Water. A big, now we got a God's Bomb. This has been a long time coming. This is exactly where you'll see tempo shift in a lot of other games. So will it happen here for Second Wind? It looks like it might, but the things aren't even right now. Fried is out of mech, Bird is out of this game, as Second Wind are going to fall victim to the fact that they did not have any support ultimates at the beginning of that fight. Gods did the best he could, and so is Iced right now. As we're calling this a little early, as Gladiators Legion still have not secured this defense. This is a little dirty from both sides, to be honest.
A little bit of that sloppy play. They took the fight off of the point, thinking that they could win it cleanly, but Panker now rejoins the fight. Doesn't get anything for the Shatter.
That seems to be a common problem between these two Reinhardts right now, as Second Wind going to find themselves on top in terms of numbers. Fried going to be taking up that high ground, and no Ice means no Zarya, and you've all heard that statistic. When the Zarya dies, you only have a 7% win percentage if that is first blood, but no, speedily. Again, I guess Second Wind not really into statistics right now, as they're going to be taking over this fight, going to be investing in the Transcendence, in the finality of trying to grab the 2nd point. They might want that for later, but Second Wind are going to be walking into this 3rd point with the grab, with the bigger bang combo. Gladiators Legion, though, not looking bad themselves.
Rolf actually died before he could get to that trance, which could have been a blessing in disguise. Legion seemed to be all-inning on these fights in terms of those ultimate resources, and good thing that they held their hand, whether by their own choice or by fate, as they will be facing Iced's grab in this next fight. Rolf, though, ready once again.
But Dalton's grab is going to be the first one that we see. The self-destruct is placed pretty well, but not well enough. Second wind, though, still going to have Halo on Halo go it down, and that's going to be with Sound Barrier. Gladiators Legion, though, feeling pretty good. The Earth Shatter is going to be enough. Second wind, very patient with their ults. Very good job, as they did not finally invest something they didn't need to use for that fight.
You're always hoping to invest less ultimates than your opponents, and especially for the Legion, who are at an economy disadvantage right now. Second wind, they're not going to be too stressed, but what they have in ultimates, they don't have in time. 1 minute and 35 seconds separates them between them and a win.
Oh, Panker is stunned, but the Sound Barrier is there from both sides, so everyone pretty equal right now. Graviton Surge, self-destruct is out, the shield is there. Dalton's going to protect the rest of his team. Earthshatter going to knock Rolf onto the ground. That could be big. That means no Discord Orb for Gladiators Legion. Rolf somehow still alive. He's going to go down just in the nick of time for Second Wind to take control of this fight. Second Wind up 4-2. They're going to be continuing on this payload, but there's going to be less than a minute left at the re-engage.
Legion still have an opportunity to try and keep this interesting 60 seconds left. The rally will be popped first, hoping to give Dalton enough time to get up to that grab, because other than that, no support ultimates.
Sherrick went flying thanks to a boom. Second Wind going to get knocked too because of the Earth Shatter. And now Gladiators Legion going to be investing their ultimates into this water. Getting the kill onto Bird is going to cause problems for Second Wind. Fried another one. I believe that's about 8 or 10 self-destruct kills. And when two Reinhardts attack each other, they both fall down. And when Second Wind has less members, that's really bad for them. And Second Wind are going to be stopped here, but there is enough time for them to come back.
One more good re-engage for Second Wind here. They will be coming in with ultimates. Rolf, though, 15% away from his trance. He could be the savior for this Legion defense, who have already pulled it back from the brink with nothing but a rally and a self-destructing grab. Good work for the defense now, but we've seen so many teams let it all fall apart in the very last seconds.
This is it, folks. Speedily going to be using their rally to compete for the payload, and now we're going to see Rolf's Transcendence and how valuable it can be. Ice is going to have that Graviton Surge. Earthshatter going to knock Sherrick onto the ground, and he's going to die before using the Earthshatter. Ice using the Graviton Surge. Self-destruct is out as well, but Second Wind going to be pulling this thing back. 3 kills versus the 1 from Gladiators Legion, but the good news for Gladiators Legion is that they are going to have spawns come back, but is it going to be in time? As Second Wind in overtime are going to be owning this payload. They're so close to the green box of victory, and they finally do get there. We're going to be entering extra innings, folks. The Gladiators Legion, the only one with time on the clock.
So a great opportunity for the Legion to attack, as the only option for Second Wind will be a defense for that draw. So focus fire, I would say, again, became the issue towards those very last couple of inches where the cart was getting so close to the green box of victory. Legion popped that trance very early. Great timing by Rolf, by the way, to barely save his tank's lives there, really milking value from that trance. But however, because of all of the damage that was being put in the tanks, they were being booped around, bashed. They weren't really in position to try and capitalize on the massive amounts of healing that they were getting. Second Wind stayed alive, and once that trance goes down, Ice drops the grab, and there's nothing that Legion can really do to respond.
Second Wind in a tough situation now, as there's 5 seconds more on the clock for Gladiators Legion than they would have at the beginning of King's Row, so they're pretty much functioning as if this is a reset, and all Gladiators Legion needs is that 0.8 tick. And honestly, they're probably fine with a draw as well, because that still puts them at match point. But with, you know, map win-loss differential being so important, the draws just aren't as attractive as the win.
No, Legion, they want to win King's Row outright. Send a message to Second Wind. And they're going to be doing it with Goats once again. Why not? They've been looking very comfortable with this composition. And remember, they took Point A in the very first fight, so Second Wind, they got to do something different.
That
and
volley.
That certainly is.
Nice work, Second Wind. That's how you hold for 4 minutes and 5 seconds. You're pushing Gladiators Legion all the way back to spawn, and Bird taking flight all of a sudden. That volley, right? You saw the fly across the stream, and then you saw it. Gladiators Legion going to be coming in with 6 people once more. They don't have to freak out. There's over 3.5 minutes left for them. And really, this is just Gladiators Legion just, you know, just being very chill about getting their ultimates too, right? There's no huge need to engage unless they get that pick. They really want those ultimates, but they're going to go ahead and go in as Panker going to be leading the charge. The particle barrier is gone, and that's why you're going to be seeing him put up his shield once more, as Panker also going to get stunned. Speedily is getting taken pretty low as well. Water going to be using the shield bash, and it's going to take Sherrick down. Water getting taken taken down as well. So this is a 5v4.5 right now as Gladiators Legion getting the D-Mech and kill onto Hello, I'm Halo. The Earth Shatter is going to be countered by the Trans. Pin's not going to find anyone of value, but Gladiators Legion still looking quite good here on this first point. Second win, need to make sure that Gladiators Legion are unable to take this first tick from them. Panker getting stunned. The particle barrier is there. That means Panker is going to stay alive for the time being, but Gladiators Legion have let second win back into this fight, and you're seeing that by the kills that they're getting. Time and time again, Gladiators Legion not securing a fight they should be winning.
Each of these fights starts out so well for Legion. They feint to go through the hotel, but instead then wrap around, place Fried on the high ground, and second win, they lost Sherrick almost right away, but then second win bite back, and Legion once again can't finish their play, and we're at this stalemate once again. More importantly though, Wolf will be at a disadvantage with that Trans. We haven't talked about Bird quite as much, but he has been really standing out in this series so far.
And we're seeing that right now. They didn't have the Transcendence for it. That Graviton Surge, but again, there's still 2 minutes on the clock for Gladiators Legion, and so now that they know that second win might have ultimates, it's now time for them to use it, because it's kind of like EMP, right? Once you use EMP, you know you're going to be pretty good for that next fight.
Exactly. This fight wasn't so hot. Legion probably expected to lose that one, but now they'll be barreling in with 5 ultimates to their name. Most crucially, of course, Dalton's grab. Bird can respond, but Panker then can lay down the Shatter. It's all about that order of operations.
The ring around the Rosie, around the statue was pretty funny to see from these Reinhardts, but now that Shatter is going to come out, the Rally and Trance are out as well. Self-destruct in the air, no kills on either side, and so we're getting one of those ults upon ults upon ults, goats fights right here, and you're seeing even the displacement in the backline of second win as Panker going to be taken down immediately, and Gladiators Legion used everything that they had for that fight. Second win did too, though. Let's see if Gladiators Legion are going to be able to come back and grab only 1 tick. There's only a minute left.
One more shot here for the Legion, but they will be coming prepared with Dalton's grab and Wolf's Trance. Iced will have his own grab to try and respond, but no support ultimates for second wind online as of yet. But with the way that Bird has been landing these volleys, you can never count this Zen out just yet. Again, first picks will be crucial. Legion now actually do go through the hotel, but Rolf gets caught out. Yeah,
and I don't know if you guys were able to see that, but Letty received the armor pack because he had to amp it up with low health, and that wasn't available potentially to save Rolf in the end. And Gladiators Legion are going to have one more shot at this, but good news for them. They've got ults to do it, and if they should have done it at the very beginning of this round, but right now it's pretty good.
Legion have ults, but now second wind have ults too, and that's not the kind of, seesaw that you want to see. Things are once again evened up. If you're a Legion fan, you're going to be hoping for a beautiful early pick. I know you have it in you, Rolf. Rally is popped. Water's going all in.
Here we go. Zeiss is going to get stunned and then taken down. The Graviton Surge is not going to be of value for them. Gladiators Legion know that they have an opening here, but the Shatter's going to make it even bigger for Gladiators Legion as finally they break through the second wind wall here on point A, and will be going up 2-0 on second win. But this is really good for second win because finally, going into this third game after halftime, I think there is a chance for them to play just like they did on that defense. That was by far the best they had played all series, and I'm feeling good for them moving on from here.
Oh, undoubtedly. And Assault, our third map, is all about those team fights, and we're going to be able to kind of sample some of those combos that second win we're starting to, get the hang of that communication, that team play, right? And I really do love their more aggressive look, right? They know that they only have a tick to give. If we lose this fight, we're going to lose the tick anyways. Might as well just go in.
Can't always let your opponent control the tempo of a game, but that's going to be us entering halftime. Gladiators Legion up 2-0. We're going to take a quick break before we come back. We'll see you soon.